It's another exciting week for the New Mexico State Aggies. We've got the highlights from the Aggies Sun Belt game in Troy, Alabama, and head football coach Doug Martin will be in studio to review Saturday's game. Coach will also preview his team's upcoming road conference game against the Idaho Vandals. Head volleyball coach Mike Jordan has seen success again this season with wins in 7 of his team's last 8 matches. Coach will stop by to talk about the Aggies' hot start and WAC play. Meanwhile, head swimming and diving coach Rick Pratt will be in studio to recap his team's first meet of the season last weekend. Aggie up and enjoy. This is New Mexico State Sports Weekly. Welcome to New Mexico State Sports Weekly. I'm your host, Adam Young. Last weekend, the Aggies flew out to Troy, Alabama to square off against the Troy Trojans in the Aggies' third Sun Belt Conference game. The Aggies racked up 24 points of offense, and freshman running back Larry Rose III ran for nearly 100, but NMSU fell to Troy by the final of 41-24. The loss was the 5th straight for New Mexico State after starting the year 2-0. Let's take a look at the highlights from the game last Saturday in Troy. The Aggies taking on the Troy Trojans for the second time in program history. 24-year coach Larry Blakeney in his first game since announcing he'll retire at the end of the year. First quarter, Troy gets the ball first and promptly moves down the field. Quarterback Brandon Silvers with a 12-yard touchdown run. Trojans take a 7-0 lead on the opening drive. Aggies down 10-0 now. Tyler Rogers drops back, but he is sacked for a loss of 9 yards, and he loses the football. The ball is recovered by Troy, and the Trojans are in business. However, the Aggies' pass defense steps up. Winston Rose with his 3rd interception of the year. This one comes in the end zone, and the score stays 10-0 Troy. Moving on to quarter number 2 in Troy, Alabama. Aggies are driving right here, and Tyler Rogers, the Aggies' sophomore quarterback, will hand it off to Larry Rose III. He shows off his moves. The freshman rumbles 53 yards to the end zone, and the Aggies cut the lead to 10-7. However, the Aggies would trail 20-7 at halftime. On to the third quarter. Aggies are down 27-10. Teldrick Morgan takes the kickoff, and he'll go 42 yards. Sets up a great drive for the Aggies' good field position. How about the year Teldrick Morgan is having in all facets of the game? The drive is capped off by Tyler Rogers, finding Gerald Brown for the 30-yard touchdown catch, and it's 27-17. The Aggies still trailing though. On to fourth quarter action. Turnovers again plague the Aggies all afternoon. Right here, Rogers is sacked by Tyler Roberts, and he loses the football once again. Troy recovers deep in Aggie territory. And then later on in the drive, on 4th down and 2, Jordan Shunn finds a seam, and he runs 18 yards to the end zone for Troy. Troy leads 34-17 midway through the fourth quarter. Aggies would then move down the field. They cap off a drive with this Tyler Rogers 11-yard touchdown pass to guess who? Teldrick Morgan. That cuts the lead to 34-24. The Aggies trying the onside kick right here, but Troy's John Johnson is there to recover it, and that gives Troy great field position once again. And to cap it off, Chandler Worthy takes the shovel pass from Brandon Silvers. He weaves his way 35 yards to the end zone. 41-24, Troy in full control, looking for win number 1. With 3 minutes left, Rogers has his pass deflected, and this one is picked off again, this time by Montrez Kitchens. He returns it all the way to the NMSU 24-yard line, and that does it. Troy hands the Aggies their 5th straight loss. 41-24 is the final score in Alabama. The Aggies fall to 2-5 overall. Final stats for you. Troy, known for their passing game, dominated on the ground with 360 yards rushing. The Aggies ran for 123, with Larry Rose III falling just short of 100 yards on his own. Tyler Rogers throws for 272, but turnovers plague the Aggies once again, and the Aggies fall to 1-2 in the Sun Belt after dropping their 5th straight game. When we return, head coach Doug Martin will join us in studio to break down the loss against the Trojans and also preview his team's upcoming road game against the winless Idaho Vandals. Stay tuned for more New Mexico State Sports Weekly. Welcome back to New Mexico State Sports Weekly. The The Aggie football team wrapped up their third Sun Belt Conference game of the season Saturday afternoon, falling 41-24 to the Troy Trojans. The Aggies fell behind early and never could get the deficit to single digits while committing 4 turnovers for the game. The loss dropped the Aggies to 1-2 in the Sun Belt and 2-5 overall. Joining me now to break down the game is head football coach Doug Martin. Coach, your team got off to a slow start and fell behind early. Do you feel like that set the tone for the entire game?
Well, you know, Adam, I didn't think we brought very much energy to the game at all. You know, it's the first time this year I felt like our team didn't come out with the passion and the intensity that you have to play a college football game. And that dictated the slow start, especially offensively. And again, you know, the turnovers are really limiting what we're able to do offensively.
Coming in, Troy was really well known for their passing game, but it was their running game that shined on Saturday. Did that surprise you?
No, you know, with the way we've played against the run, you obviously have to know that everybody's going to try to run the football against you. And we weren't very gap sound with our defensive front being in the right place, and that hurt us in the running game. But again, you know, our defense had only given up 10 points in the first half. You know, we gave up a kickoff return that you know, our defense wasn't responsible for. So when your defense can hold somebody to 10 points in the first half, your offense has to do something to help them out. Turnovers
were an issue once again on offense. How costly did that turn out to be?
Well, they're huge. Yeah, I mean, it's the game. And you know what it does? It takes away possessions from your offense, opportunities to score, and also puts your defense in really bad situations. And we've, you know, done that repeatedly to our defense this year. So we're going to have to look at some different things personnel-wise. We're going to have to look at some different things scheme-wise and find a way to stop the bleeding on that.
Was there a point in the game when you felt like your team was on the verge of making it a one-score game?
Yeah, I think right before the kickoff return, you know, when we scored there, and then when we gave up the kickoff return, that just took all the air out of the balloon.
Individually, Larry Rose III really shined, running for nearly 90 yards. What did you see from him on Saturday?
Yeah, he looked like he did early in the year again. You know, Larry looked like he had his quickness back. He was making people miss. He had a little burst. He had some explosion. So that was good to see. He was one of the few bright spots that we had out there offensively.
Do you feel like he was playing well because he's healthy again?
Oh, no question. Yeah, I think the time off that he had helped him get his legs back. The weight room work he's gotten a little bit stronger now, and hopefully he'll be able to finish the season strong.
When you reflected back on the game post-game, did you feel like your team took a step back last week?
I don't think there's any question, and not because we lost the football game, Adam, but because of the way we played the football game. You know, so far this year we'd lost a game by 3, we'd lost a game by 8. In both those games, conference games, we played with a lot of passion and a lot of intensity, and I didn't see that Saturday. And, you know, and that's a problem. That's a red flag. So we got to go back to the drawing board, find the right guys. It may not be the best players, but we got to find the right players that want to go out there and play Aggie football.
Is the biggest key to getting back on track having a good week of practice this week?
It's that, and it's just taking care of the football in the game. You know, in practice we don't turn the ball over, but in games we go out and we have turnovers. And you know, everybody points at the quarterback for that situation, but that's really everybody. You know, the offensive line did not protect very well. We got the quarterback hit twice on blindside hits that caused fumbles. You know, receivers running a wrong route can put a quarterback in a bad situation. And obviously we need to play better at the quarterback position too, but it's our whole offense. It's not just one guy.
New Mexico State will head to the Kibbe Dome in Idaho to take on the winless Idaho Vandals on Saturday. Coach and I will preview the Aggies' 4th conference game when we come back. Stay tuned. This is New Mexico State Sports Weekly. The New Mexico State football team sits at 1-2 in the Sun Belt after falling to Troy this past weekend. The Aggies will now look ahead to another road game coming up on Saturday, and MSU will take on the winless Idaho Vandals on Saturday at the Kibbe Dome. Joining us in studio is the head football coach, Doug Martin. Coach, looking ahead to Idaho, what are you looking to see from your team this week in practice?
Well, I think the biggest thing is play with some passion and intensity again, Adam. We got to get out there and be excited about playing football. You know, Troy last week was an 0-5 football team, but they were excited about playing that game, and they played with a lot of passion, a lot of intensity, and we've got to get that back. That's the biggest thing.
Saturday's game in Idaho is in a dome. Because of that, what factors could play a role?
Well, you know, luckily we played in a dome already this year at Georgia State, albeit a bigger dome than what we're going to be in Saturday. So hopefully that won't be too much of an issue. I know it is a loud place to play and an intimidating place to play. I haven't been there, but I've heard a lot about it from our other coaches, so we'll see how we handle that.
Idaho coming off a loss on the road at Georgia Southern. What's your preview of them?
They are an excellent throwing team. Linehan, the quarterback, his father's an NFL coach, and he's very experienced. He knows the game. They're throwing for over 300 yards a game. Now they'll test the running game against us like everybody has for sure, but we got to be able to get pressure on the quarterback, and we got to be able to keep causing turnovers. That's one of the other bright spots we still have. Our defense is still causing at least 2 turnovers in every game. So if we can play some offense and get some points on the board, we'll have a chance to win this game.
Does it matter that Idaho's winless, or is it all about your team getting back on track?
Well, obviously we proved that doesn't matter last week. It's all about us, and really doesn't matter who we're playing. And really what I want to see is our football team improve. You know, I'm not worried about the score. That'll take care of itself. I'm interested in us playing with passion, playing with intensity, playing for each other, and playing much faster than what we did Saturday.
We spoke about Larry Rose last segment. Larry, an outstanding game on Saturday. Do you expect him to carry the bulk of the load in your running game now?
I would think so, yeah. As long as he stays healthy for the rest of the year, he's the guy that can make some big plays for us. Xavier Hall came in and played well for us again. Betancourt had a couple of good runs, but Larry's obviously the guy that gives us a little bit more explosion.
In what area do you feel like you have to be sharp in Saturday to come away with a win?
Well, I think obviously the pass rush, you know, we've got to get to the quarterback defensively. That's going to be an issue. But it's all going to come to us scoring points. And they've said over and over, you look at these games, the teams that score 30 points, when you hit that 30-point range, that's the magic number. You've got a chance to win football games. And we haven't been hitting that number, and that's why we're not winning.
Aggie up and tune into ESPN3 to watch the Aggies duke it out for a win when they fly out to Idaho this weekend. Coach, best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you, Adam.
When we return, we'll be joined by head volleyball coach Mike Jordan. His team currently sits 10-6 overall and also 4-1 in the WAC after sweeping Texas Pan American last week. Coach will join us to chat about conference play after this on New Mexico State Sports Weekly. The New Mexico State volleyball team was the preseason pick to win the WAC, and the Aggies have not disappointed with a 4-1 start to conference play. The Aggies wrapped up their 7th sweep of the season against Texas Pan American last Thursday and have now won 7 of their last 8 matches. Here with me now in studio is the head coach, Mike Jordan. Coach, a straight set win on Thursday against UTPA. Happy with the way your team played?
In spurts. You know, I think we're still looking for that consistency where we play great an entire match. I think we were good in spurts. Third set we had some problems blocking. UTPA runs a slower tempo on the slide, and we were early all the time and got used on the block a lot and didn't get the stops we should have gotten. But other than that, I thought we played fairly well.
You made a change at the libero position on Thursday. Your reason for that?
Well, Hannah Walker, who our starting libero, is a redshirt senior, and she's played a lot of volleyball in her life. She has a tendency to get bruised up a little bit, especially at that position. You know, you sacrifice your body so often, and it was a good opportunity to rest her a little bit, I felt. It was a match we could still win. And Audie Sierra, who's been playing fairly well in spurts for us, just needed a little bit more work. So I wanted to get her out on the floor and give her the time she needs to develop a little bit and rest Hannah at the same time.
Gwen Murphy really shined Thursday, 571 hitting percentage. Best you've seen her play this year?
We count on Gwen a lot. I think Gwen is a top-notch attacker. I think she can put up numbers like that against anybody, nationally ranked teams, non-ranked teams. So we're looking for that kind of, those kind of numbers all the time from her. I think we're going to move her a little bit, Adam, and maybe play her on the antennas a little bit more, get her a few more swings. At the end of matches, I'd rather see Gwen taking closer to 30 swings than 20.
Do you feel like a lot of your freshmen have stepped up as of late?
They are getting better. You know, how they play at crunch time, I think, is really important for us. It's easy to play when you have a lead, or a lot easier to play when you have a lead. I think some of them put up great numbers when we're up, 18-12, or when we're kind of cruising to victory. But if it's 20-all or 23-all, what kind of numbers are they putting up then? The mind can play tricks on you, and freshmen more so than anybody else. So we're looking at them now to start putting up numbers all the time.
One of those freshmen, Ashlyn Brown, has put up good numbers as of late. What have you seen from her?
Well, she's pretty deceptive. It's one of the things we liked about her recruiting her. She's got a good touch on the back set. She's able to get the ball to the antennas with really good tempo. She gets it there quick, and that's what we've wanted to do, is speed things up a little bit to the pins. And Ashlyn's doing a good job of that. She's getting better, decision making all the time. She's a smart kid, and she pays attention, and she's already got a better grasp as a freshman than I thought maybe she would have, or that maybe we could count on. So we've been very impressed with her, and it's turned itself into more consistent playing time.
Looking ahead, 2 matches this week against UMKC and Chicago State. What's your preview of those two?
Well, we know UMKC's got a very good team, veteran team. They're in a 6-2. They've got good weapons. They block well. They've got 2 or 3 attackers that really hit the ball hard, and the rest of them are fairly reliable. I don't think they have a ghost, so to speak, someone you can just totally ignore. So I've been pretty impressed with their numbers and what they've done so far. Chicago State's struggling a little bit, but I think they're better than they were last year. That's the one team. I actually did a little bit of work on Chicago State already, and I think they've got better pieces in terms of athletic ability and a little bit more of a senior look to them this year than last year. So they're a better team. They're just still struggling to find wins.
You haven't lost a WAC match at home since 2012. What's so special about playing at home?
Well, I think routine is important. Players get into a routine, and when you're on the road, it's impossible to do that. And so when you're at home, you've got a familiar routine, which is great. We've got typically pretty good crowds. I'd like to see them be a little bit bigger, obviously, but we've got good crowds that are pretty vocal, and it's a tough place to play. It's a big arena. A lot of schools play in smaller arenas or rec gyms, that type of thing. So that changes things a little bit from a depth perception standpoint. I think there's a lot of things that go into playing on the road that make it difficult to play here. And the fact that we've got a pretty decent team helps as well.
The Aggies will have UMKC on Thursday and then Saturday in Chicago State, both at the Pan American Center. Coach, we appreciate it.
Thanks, Adam.
When we return, we'll be joined by head swimming and diving coach Rick Pratt. His team is coming off a nail-biting loss last weekend in their first meet of the season at home against Grand Canyon. Coach and I will look back at the meet and preview the rest of the season for his team. Don't go anywhere. This is New Mexico State Sports Weekly. The season has officially started for the Aggies swimming and diving team after going up against Grand Canyon last Saturday. The Aggies lost a close one at home, with the meet coming down to the final event. Here with me now in studio is head swimming and diving coach Rick Pratt. Coach, you lose a tough one against Grand Canyon to start your season. What were your impressions?
Yeah, it was a great meet. You know, you 300 points total, the dual meet, and to have it a virtual tie going into the last relay was pretty close. So, you know, we had some great efforts, and the girls fought hard. Just came up a little short on that last relay, but overall, it was a great meet for us to start things off.
When you lose in that last event, is it a little tougher to pull away from that one?
Yeah. I mean, it's always hard to swallow a loss like that, but we know that we're a good team. We had some great performances, and we're very young. We have, you know, 12 newcomers in the pool, so, you know, there's still a group that's learning a lot every day, and we had some, you know, we're really trying to focus on the great things that happened on Saturday.
You mentioned a lot of newcomers this year.
Yeah.
Who shined for you individually?
Oh, man, we had a lot. Corey Mullisey's a freshman from Las Vegas, Nevada, who's really an aggressive swimmer. She likes to go after things, and she had a strong 200. Jana Sonnenschen from the Netherlands had a great 100 fly. We've got a lot of potential in this freshman class. So, and they all came in great shape, and they're working really hard. They're an easy freshman class to manage despite their size and youth. Yeah.
Which events do you feel like you fared well in, and which ones you need some improvement in?
Yeah, I think our breaststrokers, that's a power event, and definitely those girls are going to get faster as the year goes on. I thought Dory did a great job. Dory Lehnert from Hungary, she had a great 100 fly winning that event. Her 200 fly was a little shaky. She's still working on her strategy in that, and she was sick Thursday, Friday, so definitely a great effort for her despite everything she went through that week. But we've got a huge middle distance freestyle group, which is a lot of fun to coach. We've got like 7 or 8 girls that are doing some crazy stuff every day, and they push each other and encourage each other, and it's a really fun group to be around in the pool.
How excited was your team to get back at it and compete again?
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of them, it's their first real dual meet ever. So that was there was some nervous energy there, which was great, and you know, our season is starting to get really busy. So we have Colorado State Pueblo in a couple of weeks, and then we go up to go up to Denver, and we're going to swim Wyoming on a Thursday, Northern Colorado on Friday, and then Colorado State on Saturday, which is a ridiculous 3-day thing to do. We go up to Flagstaff, and then we go to Las Vegas. So every 3 weeks we have a opportunity to race, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Year number 10 now for you at New Mexico State.
How
have you seen this program grow from year 1 to year 10?
Yeah, it's been a real pleasure and an honor to be here, and I can't believe it's been 10 years already. And I keep a picture of our first team. We had 11 girls on the squad, and we had a picture of us in the parking lot before we drove out to San Antonio for conference, and I have that on my corkboard in front of my desk. So on the days when I'm like frustrated or I want things to get better, I just look at that and, oh man, that was crazy back then. So things have, we've broken every school record multiple times. We've had the only 2 NCAA qualifiers in program history. We're the only, we've been able to beat UNM a handful of times, which has been fun. And so definitely there's been a lot of milestones along the way, but we still have a lot of room to grow. And I'm excited for the future.
The New Mexico State swimming and diving team has their next meet at home on October 25th right here in Las Cruces. Come out to support the Aggies and cheer them on to victory. Coach, we appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
It's not too late to get a seat at Aggie Memorial Stadium and support your Aggie football teams. To be part of the excitement, call the Aggie ticket office at 575-646-1420. You can also get your tickets online at nmstatesports.com or ticketmaster.com. That will do it for this week's installment of New Mexico State Sports Weekly. I'm Adam Young saying thank you for watching, and go Aggies.